Okay, it's that time again. And today it's very special.
Why?
Today it's most embarrassing moments.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have a real doozy that I know about. I mean, you have one that nobody else has
No.
ever had,
No.
as far as I know.
No.
Okay. And this was in Las Vegas.
No.
Okay.
You can't tip it, Al.
No, but I'm not going to tell any more than that. All I'm telling you is that when this happened in Las Vegas, it made headlines and people talked about it for years afterwards.
Oh.
Okay? That's how embarrassing the moment was.
No.
And you will find out what that is, folks, on the Suzanne Somers Show. And here she is.
Thank you. Hi there. Hi, Caroline.
Hello,
Oh,
good evening.
good evening. I have to turn this on a little bit because it's fitting. I was helping women with their hormones today. It's interesting. I'll hear this one woman who wrote me. I watch her on TV all the time, and she's just such a great woman. She goes, "I'm sweating all night, and I can't, and I can't." And Alan had sent her one of my lectures, and she said, "Oh my God, you got to help me." And then another woman, "Oh my God, you got to help me." And I realize, where are the doctors? Where are the doctors? But then I know where they are, because they were not taught anything about hormones, in particular bioidentical hormones, in medical school. Instead, rather, they taught them about synthetic hormones, so-called hormones. They're not really hormones. The most popular one is made from pregnant mare's urine. A horse has 34 different estrogens, none of which are compatible to the human female. And so no wonder they're sweating, and they don't have a sex drive, and they don't like the way they look, and they don't like the way they feel. So it's always a privilege for me to be able to walk someone through it. I never give advice. I just say, if it were me and I were you, I would go see this doctor, because I know doctors in pretty much every city in America who are doing it the right way. So that was sort of satisfying today.
So I want you to know.
I want you to know that too.
Okay.
What?
Susan Oliver said, "I love your top, Suzanne."
Oh.
And Susan, I love Suzanne's top too. Okay.
Susan, we don't know what he means. You know he's a bad boy, or as Caroline and I call him, a rascal. But I like this top too. I've worn it a couple of times on the show, and I kind of don't get tired of it. It sort of kind of does everything I need it to do, and I enjoy it. So
You're
anyway,
getting a lot of love on your side part.
oh, yeah. I changed my hair a little bit today. Thank you. Yeah, I was looking at the show the other day, and it was a little too staid, straight down the middle. So I thought I'd
I
change
like
it up
that.
today.
That
Yeah.
looks better. I much prefer that.
Well, there you go.
You know what it is? It's personality.
There you go.
It gives you personality. Not that you don't have personality.
Personality. Personality. Da 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 da. We don't know
So
where-
what's da 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 da?
I don't know. I don't
You know,
know.
years ago when I was a kid, I was in my early 20s. I used to go to Provincetown in
What country?
Massachusetts, in Cape Cod.
Oh.
It's at the very
Top
bottom
of the morning to all of you. This
Okay.
is our 5 o'clock cocktail hour.
Top
Alan
of
and
the
I
morning.
are having our clear tequila, and I hope you'll join us.
And there was this wonderful club there. It was a gay club, and the guy who owned it, I think he owned it, at 8 o'clock, a door would open in the ceiling. And
In the ceiling.
Pardon?
In the ceiling.
In the ceiling. And not a ladder, steps would come down
Oh.
to the floor of the club.
Oh.
And the guy, who was rather hefty,
Yes. Or
would,
stout.
would come down the steps singing that song.
Oh.
Yeah, it was great.
You know where else that happened? Alan and I were alive in the era of Studio 54 in New York, and man, was that fun. That was the height of Three's Company. Three's Company was the #1 show in the country. I gotta say, that's fun. And they had a red rope, and only somebodies could get through, and I think because my show was so popular, I was considered a somebody. And we'd go inside, and I remember one. What was it? New Year's, or was it just like a Saturday night? Diana Ross is
That was New Year's.
hanging off the balcony, and they looked nude. Were they nude, or were they in nude bodysuits?
They were wearing nude bodysuits.
Yeah. Hanging from ropes in the ceilings. It was like Sodom and Gomorrah, and we really had fun. And we took Bruce and Steven that night, our sons, but they weren't allowed in Studio 54. But before that, we went to the River Cafe, which is right at the water's edge down there. And we had this dinner, and Bruce got so excited. He was having so much fun because we were in a limousine. And we went to this restaurant, and he just started like almost convulsing. Remember that, going, "This is so great!" And then we heard this terrible sound like a gunshot, and oh, it was. And everybody instinctively dove to the floor, and over there, a bunch of bodyguards stood up. Who knew everybody had bodyguards there? And nobody got hurt or anything, but
No, but it wasn't an actual gunshot.
what was it? I don't
It
remember.
was one of those things that was New Year's Eve, remember?
Oh, yeah, they
It
made
was
the
one of
noise.
those
Oh, yeah,
things
yeah, yeah.
that you pull and it goes bang.
Yeah, oh, that's right. And the guns that came out were the bodyguards' guns.
Right.
Yeah, but it was like, oh, this is heavy duty. Anyway, tonight, Alan's been waxing poetic about Manuka honey all week.
Oh. Aside from the liquid oxygen, which as you know is my favorite product, the Manuka honey, okay, is incredible. I'm not
Yeah?
kidding. It's incredible.
He says this to me every single morning.
Okay.
The only other thing he went that crazy over was the liquid oxygen, which you called
Stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Where's that stuff?
But I tell you, the
Yeah, he
Manuka
loves
honey,
it. He loves it. He
I don't know
loves
what it is. Manuka honey only comes from New Zealand, which is the only place they grow Manuka flowers. Why is that? Can't you just grow Manuka flowers?
Maybe that's where they want to grow, and
Well,
they don't want to
probably.
grow anywhere
Well,
else.
I'm sure they're wild and the bees
Is there a
love
story
them.
to the Manuka flower, Caroline?
Well, it just has these incredible benefits that that they pollinate the manuka flower, which is indigenous to that area. So I'm sure they could try to start growing it somewhere else, but
Why?
that's its natural habitat.
Why?
So it just has so many incredible properties, that manuka honey.
I remember the first time I heard about Manuka honey was from Michael Feinstein, the singer, composer, entertainer extraordinaire, a good friend of mine. And he swears by Manuka honey because he's a singer to keep his throat lubricated. And then I started hearing people talk about Manuka honey. And then we talked to our formulator, and she said, oh, I can do the most incredible skincare line for you. So we've got that tonight, and we've also got the soothing gel, Manuka honey soothing gel. We've got the Manuka honey moisturizer. We've got the glutathione, which I can't wait to talk about because it's so important. We've got the anti-aging eye cream, and then we've got Alan's favorite, liquid oxygen.
Stuff. And, by the way,
Yeah.
Diana Villa or Diana Villa said, how can I order your product? The answer is go to SuzanneSummers.com. And I think, isn't that first page about when you enter the site, Caroline, that you get a discount?
Yes, if you're a brand new customer, you'll be prompted to download a code for 15% off. But tonight we have a special promo code if you're an existing customer. You want to share the code, Alan?
Here it is. 25% off
Like
skincare.
our fabulous
And the
graphics.
promo code is BLUSH25. There it
Plus, we're
is.
going to be talking about most embarrassing moments.
Yep.
Most embarrassing moments. I've had them.
Don't
Oh.
you want to know what made Suzanne blush?
Well, actually, you've had two.
I've had more.
Well, I know, but as it comes to me,
I've had,
shall I?
yeah, I want to just tell you the very first one I ever, that you don't even know about this. I was from San Bruno, California. And God, wish I could get this picture. I didn't want to tell my parents that I was going to run for Miss San Bruno.
Were you Miss Garbage before or after that?
After. Miss Garbage
Oh.
was after. And so I kind of sneaked out of the house because I was going to have to stand in front of a bunch of people in a bathing suit and high heels. And I knew my mother would go like that, and my father would do whatever he used to do. And so I try out for the Miss San Bruno contest, and I become the second runner-up. I don't win. I'm not Miss San Bruno.
And you're not the first runner-up.
I'm not the first, but I'm the second runner-up. Well, I was going to Catholic school at the time, and they just impressed upon us always, always, always wear a girdle. I don't know why. I weigh like 98 pounds, and why? So your butt cheeks wouldn't shake or something and be suggestive. And so being a good girl,
you can't wear patent leather shoes either.
yeah, and being a good girl, I put my girdle. Why I even owned one, I don't know, but that's because the nuns said you got to own a girdle. I put it under my bathing suit, and didn't realize when they said, "Ladies, please show us your backsides," that my two garters.
They said that?
Yeah, my two garters were hanging out of my backside. So the next day, on the front page of the San Bruno Herald was a picture of Miss San Bruno, but a big picture of me from behind with the two garters hanging down. And I came to breakfast, and my father went, "What's this?"
Maybe it was not a girdle.
Be sexy, but then it was like.
Yeah, so wrong. I was so mortified.
No, maybe you were wearing, they used to call it a Mary Jane.
No, I didn't
No?
own anything like that. I had
Oh.
a girdle because the nuns told me to get the girdle. Any of you ever wear a girdle? Can you imagine wearing a girdle today? I don't
That's
care.
one thing I've never done.
Well,
We're-
now it's just called a Spanx.
Yeah.
Called a
yeah,
what?
Yeah, we all worn Spanx.
Okay,
God, I hate putting them on.
Okay, I have two
Okay.
most embarrassing moments by Suzanne Summers, okay? I'm not going to tell you the second one for a while. I'm going to save it.
Aren't I
But
going to
it's-
tell that?
No, you can, yeah, the one you're going to start telling and I'll finish telling it,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
But here's one I'm just going to throw in.
Yeah.
Okay, we used to, in the 70s, we lived in Venice, California.
Yeah.
And there was this restaurant there that was the hippest restaurant in town. I mean, it was the hippest, coolest
Owned
restaurant.
by Dudley Moore.
That's right, Dudley Moore, and
Yeah,
also that
yeah.
great director, I can't remember
Yeah.
his name.
Right.
And so we enjoyed going there. The food was really good, and it was like mainly entertainment people, and big shots to little shots, but it was great.
Yeah.
So one night we're there for dinner, and Suzanne's all dressed up. I mean, all dressed up.
As I do.
And I got dressed up that night too. And we walk in and we get they give us a killer table, unbelievable table, and everything's great. And we order our food and everything's great. And after our
And
food,
hi, Harrison.
After our
Hi,
food-
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Stephen.
Yeah, Steven
And,
Spielberg.
and after,
Nice to see you again, Steven.
yeah, that's right. That's right. And after dinner, before dessert, Suzanne excuses herself to go to the ladies' room, or as they sometimes call it, the rest room. I don't know why. No one ever rests there.
You
Okay.
sit and rest.
She goes to the ladies' room, and Suzanne has one of the greatest walks in show business. Okay.
Says the adoring husband.
Maybe the greatest walk in show business, in 5-inch heels from Manolo Blahnik. Okay.
For only $565.
So she walks to the ladies' room, and when she's done, she starts walking back to our table. And I notice that hanging out of her dress at the bottom is toilet paper. A whole long
All the way.
roll of toilet
All the
paper
way.
that went all the way from
All
the
the way.
toilet all the way to our table. And there were people who started giggling when they saw it, and a couple started to applaud, and Suzanne thought they were applauding for her. Okay?
And my great idea.
That's right. So, but you know
Yeah,
what?
That was mortifying.
But you know what? That was great. I love you for that. I mean, what you did was you looked perfect, and then you put a little thing into it by
I'm so not perfect.
dragging toilet paper into the restaurant.
I remember once saying to my therapist, I try so hard to be perfect and I never hit the mark. She goes, well, welcome to the rest of us. And I thought, yeah, there is no perfect.
So what do you got there in front of you?
Okay.
This is good stuff. I know two of these things. One that has
Is
always
this
been
the
my favorite
offering,
product.
or are all five of
It's 25% off skincare, so we just gave you a few products to talk about in the skincare category, but all the skincare
Okay.
at SuzanneSummers.com is
If you
25%.
haven't tried the Manuka honey and you love my line, you'll love this. I can honestly, enthusiastically encourage you to get some soothing Manuka honey gel and the moisturizer. I'm actually starting to get bored with Alan going on and on and on every day. He puts it on, and you must put it on 2 or 3 times a day, because every time you put it on, you go, this stuff is so great. And
I
this,
do.
my hands look better.
I put it on at least twice a day, once in
Well,
the
come over
morning.
and show them your skin.
Oh.
Your beautiful skin. He has beautiful skin.
Oh.
You know, while Alan is on the way over, a lot of people had heard about Manuka honey, about how healthy it was to eat it, and it is very good for digestive tract. It's antibacterial, it's antimicrobial. It's an amazing product. But the topical benefits for the skin are also incredible. So Suzanne brought 2 products for you. One that's a moisturizer that you use on your face. The soothing gel you can use on your face or your body, and particularly great if you've had a lot of sun exposure or you have any kind of irritation.
Yeah.
People are sending us unbelievable testimonials about, we can't talk about it preventing or curing any medical conditions in the
Darn.
skin, but people sure are talking about any type of irritation or, like I said, like the sun exposure, how soothing and wonderful these products are.
I wish I could say everything I wanted to say about it, but we say things like supports.
Well, I believe it could probably heal a broken leg. Okay?
This is Alan lying.
I believe.
We're not allowed to say that.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Sorry.
This is Alan lying. Alan
Okay.
lies. For all of you out there just meeting Alan, he lies all the time, but I always
Yeah.
cover it.
You know how, we've been together for over 50 years, and you
Uh-huh.
know how
54.
you know each other
Yeah.
really well.
Mhm.
And also, we haven't been apart for more than an hour in over 40 years, okay?
No, we.
But there's-
no,
what?
that's a bit of an
No,
exaggeration.
it's not. When have we been apart over an hour?
That's so sick.
No, it's not. It's functionally codependent. as
Bruce
one
said
of our,
that.
Right.
Yeah, Bruce said
That's
that.
right. So
Uh,
there's a little secret I'm going to share with you about Suzanne. There's something about Suzanne that is a little odd, okay? A little odd. And here it is. Watch her reaction to this, okay? Are you ready?
I don't know.
Okay. She
I
can't
can't take it.
She can handle me kissing her
On
neck.
this side, only on this
Okay.
side behind this
The rest
ear.
of her
I'm
body
so
is no problem.
ticklish, and it's and
It's
your
so-
beard also. It's like
it's so-
I can't do it.
It's so weird. It's not weird. It's a little odd.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it is true what Alan has been saying about this Manuka honey, because he keeps calling me about it.
He does. I know.
Yeah.
He
He's
won't.
been
He
calling me
won't
about it.
stop talking about it.
Yeah. Let's do more.
But
Let's
it's
do.
also, it's a natural moisturizer because
Yes.
it's a humectant and it draws moisture to the skin. It's antimicrobial, so if you are blemish prone, it can be very helpful for that. And like we said, any kind of irritation, and of course the anti-aging benefits are unreal.
And my skin is irritated right now, and it really, it really helps me a lot with my
Well,
irritation. Don't.
You know, the difference with our formulator too is that
Okay.
she has put it into these
Okay.
formulas and they do not feel sticky.
He's a
She
bad
gets a really-
boy. He's so bad.
She gets a very high percentage of Manuka honey in the products without having a sticky residue.
Yeah, it's not
It's
sticky
very
at all. At
silky
all.
and
At all.
Creamy. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, if we were starting all over again, you could just like start with this and just do. I think we're going to keep expanding on the Manuka honey line because it's so phenomenal. So give it a try, and then
Okay, so we're ready to hear your most embarrassing moments, Suzanne.
I've kind of been avoiding it. All right, all right, all right.
But I'm going to pay it off.
You will. You'll pay it off. I, for many, many years, was a Las Vegas headliner and will be again when I'm 80. Did you make the deal for me at a hotel for when I'm 80?
No, but I have time.
All right, we only have 5 years, and I want you to make that deal. I can't believe I'm going to be 75. How exciting. Anyway, so during those years when I was a headliner, one of the things that was unique about my act is I never left the stage. But I changed my clothes at least 5 times, maybe 6 times, I can't remember. And I had a 25-piece orchestra, and I had 10 or 12 dancers and these fabulous costumes. But I find when the entertainer goes off stage to change clothes, the energy drops. And so I never left stage. And so what would happen was when it was time for me to change clothes, the dancers would bring out this screen, and behind the screen was my wardrobe person with the wardrobe. And so her job at this one particular point in the show was to take off the dress that I have on, pull on my dance pants, and put on the next costume. She put on the next costume, but forgot to put on the dance pants. And I didn't realize that I had no pants on. So now the screen is taken away, and I go into my thing, and I'm dancing, and I'm doing splits, and I'm doing lifts and everything, and there's a woman in the front row going. So Al, you take over.
Okay. So I usually once
Talk
the
about
show
splits.
once the show starts rolling, I usually go to the back of the room, and it was a big room because I think it was like 1,200 seats or 1,400 seats, big room. I go back to where the sound guy is, because that's the best place to hear the sound. So I'm standing there with the sound guy, and Suzanne's behind the screen, changing. And when she finishes, the music, suddenly goes from tinkling piano keys to the whole band, and she comes out dancing with the dancers, the boy dancers.
A leopard top and a black skirt
Oh, yeah.
that was up to slit to the waist.
And and they lift her up, and she does a split, and I'm standing at the back of the room, and I can see she has no pants.
The girl was supposed to leave the pants on, but in her rush, she pulled the pants off.
And forgot to put them back on.
And when I walked off stage that night, she was in the wings going, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." And I hadn't quite known what had happened, because you're on automatic when you're out there. And I said, "What?" She said, I forgot to put your dance pants on." I said, "What? What?"
Oh yeah, and the people, especially in the front row.
And then the next day in the Las Vegas Bugle or whatever it is, it's Suzanne Summers shocks the audience. And I'm thinking, I didn't mean to.
Actually, the most interesting and kind of funniest and moment when you were on stage, it's Easter time in Las Vegas. Used to be a tough time for the hotels to do business.
Yeah.
People wanted to be home. They wanted to go to church. They wanted to be with their family.
And the Easter Bunny.
Okay, right. So we were asked to do the show for that weekend. And so we're doing this big show, right? And the other thing about Vegas, when they have trouble getting people to come in because it's a holiday or whatever, they literally give it away. They give away the room, they comp the room, or they comp the steakhouse, or
And to the losers.
whatever, okay, to the people who will come. Okay, well, it's kind of a good
No, a
trick.
lot of the people get comped are the people who've lost
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
a good-
of money.
yeah, it's a good
So
trade-
let's
it's a good
invite the
trade-off.
losers so they don't feel
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah. So
And the losers drink a lot.
that's right. So the band is, playing, the big band is playing and screaming away, and the dancers are dancing, and the lights are lighting, and everything is great. And Suzanne comes out, and she starts dancing and doing her thing and singing whatever you were singing. And all of a sudden, a woman in the front row, and in those days, the front row was right up against the stage, so that the stage was at chin level
Yeah.
to the woman.
Yeah.
Suzanne comes out in big, huge, and applause and whistling and screaming, and the woman, center stage, in the front, throws up on the stage.
Right there, where I was
Yep.
dancing. Big
Yep.
pile of barf.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
Thanks. Thanks, lady. Thanks.
Well, you know what? Free drinks. That's what it is. Free drinks.
Yeah, because they want to make the people who lost all the money, they want them to come back, so they take really good care of the people who lose.
You know,
Yeah, there's a whole formula in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas is a very interesting place.
Uh-huh.
And the mob used to really understand how to run a casino. They'd give it all away. And the high rollers would come in on the special jet, and they'd give them whatever they wanted, the big suite, etc. And they made money. It
Yeah.
was the way it was. And also they had a huge Asian audience. And actually one night when...
Oh, that guy who loved me.
That's right. We had, that guy, he was he China or Japan? Where was he from?
China.
No, Japan. I think, no,
he
China?
was Chinese,
Okay.
yeah.
So he would fill
He came for me.
Yeah, he would fill a 747 with all his friends. He was in the fitness business out of China, very wealthy. He'd fill a 747, which I guess is around 500 seats, with all his friends and business associates and family, fly to Las Vegas for a week, and they'd play golf and gamble and who knows what else they did. And they would come see Suzanne.
And there are nights I wonder, there are people who get backstage, and they're usually people who tip the maitre d's, like stick $500 in their pocket, or 1,000, who knows, I don't know. You're not a tipper like that, nor am I. And
I don't like tipping.
And
I only
there'd
tip
be
when
nights
it's
when my
worth it.
dressing room would be filled with Chinese people, and I think, what's this about? And then you realize, television is so powerful, and Three's Company was so powerful because it could be transported to any country in the world, and the dialogue and the facial expressions were so simple that even if you didn't speak English, you got it. And then they'd have the subtitles underneath. I've had more people. I remember after the some Olympics, there were when the Olympics were in LA, I ran into a lot of Israelis, and they go, "Oh, you're the girl from Three in the Apartment," and because they're all watching. And so it was a huge success in China. Imagine. And then when my book Knockout came out, Doctors Curing Cancer Without Drugs, became the #1 book in China for over a year. So I have had great success with the country of China and the people of China.
I
Anyway,
have some nice testimonials for you when you're ready.
please tell me. And by the way, my friend Rick said when he's flying, he's always watching this, and he's always commenting, and I never answer back. So if you see Rick, R-I-C.
Okay, just for those people who just joined us, here's the deal: 25% off skincare. The promo
Grinnell.
code is Blush25. Okay, there it
Okay,
is.
so we have some friends, SLU-925-406-2020. I came home from work today, took off my socks, and my ankles were so itchy. I put the Manuka Honey Soothing Gel on it. Within minutes, the itching stopped.
Oh.
And Sundance Anna says, I had a dry area at the crease at the top of my leg, a dry, irritated patch. Put the Manuka gel on it, and it healed within a day. Amazing product.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
I just
Sandra
wondered.
Anderson wants to know if the Manuka Honey products are safe for kids.
Gosh, yes, they're organic.
Yes.
There's nothing. It's all from nature. Yes. In fact,
Auntie Eugenie says the Manuka gel helped heal a spot I had removed with liquid nitrogen. It's amazing stuff.
wow. When I have friends who
Kathy McKee said the Manuka Honey product has cleared up a psoriasis outbreak on my eyelids and a spot on my neck. The greatest of great products.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. Now, of course, we can't make any medical claims. That's a personal testimonial that
Yeah.
Kathy's saying. But we can't say that it heals or cures anything, but we're glad you had success with it.
So I am so glad. Thank you for sending me that, because actually you can say what we can't say.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Saya Carlisle says, "What? You don't like tipping? Al, shame on you." Well, let me explain this.
Oh no, you tip well.
No, let me
But
explain
you
it.
used to be the recipient, so.
That's right, but let me explain this.
He was a velvet.
I know how to tip, okay? Tip. Because I've been a guy who parks cars. I've been a bellhop a couple of times. I lived on tips, so I know how to tip.
I bet you were a hustler.
No, I was like good at it.
No, I mean that in
Yeah.
a complimentary
Oh, yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Little Duddy Kravitz.
No, I actually, this hotel, it was a summer resort north of Toronto, and the men would bring their wife and family there for the summer, and they'd come up on weekends, and when they'd leave, they'd hand me $5 and say, especially Mr. Sherman, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Sherman,
Uh-huh.
okay? He always gave me nice money and said, look after things. No, if we go to a restaurant and the service is great, I tip great. If the service is lousy, let me tell you, one night we went to one of our favorite restaurants, and something was going on with the waiter and the chef, and like we heard them yelling at each other.
That was
and
awful.
the waiter brought our food and never turned up after that, okay, to order dessert even if we didn't want it. But the what do they call those guys who clean dishes away?
Bellman,
No.
the busboy,
person.
busboy.
what is it?
Or busboy,
Busboy.
bus
The
person.
busboy was great. Okay, the busboy took away the dishes, said, "What else can I get for you?" He said the menu. He gave us the menu. We ordered dessert. Okay, that night, I gave the busboy a lot of money.
What's a lot of money, Al?
Well, in those days, well, it is today too, $50
Huh? Yeah.
just to make a
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and for the waiter, I left him 10 cents. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
You know,
for
most-
services.
When Alan's saying he doesn't make exorbitant tips to get the best table, or
Right.
he's not going to slide
Right.
someone. He's not saying he doesn't tip service people. He tips service people very fairly and very well.
Always.
He's saying he's not like the big shot who goes in with, here's 500, get me this. It's like people should give you good service regardless.
Well, that's like that famous restaurant in Malibu. You know which one I'm talking about, Caroline. People have so over-tipped that guy at the front desk. By over-tipped, because Malibu, $500, $1,000, $2,000, like stupid tips, so that the people who live in Malibu, who just are like us, where you
Well,
might.
you get nice tables because you're a celebrity.
I do, but
People
when.
are celebrities.
We do, but when the rest of the group there is giving 500 and 1,000, you don't get the nice table
Now,
because
who was
Yeah.
it before anyone had ever heard of Suzanne Summers? Like that was in 77 when Three's Company went on
Yeah,
the air.
yeah.
This was probably 74, 73. Who did they think I was to get that great table in
Oh.
Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
Okay, we'd get in, people would line up every
Yeah.
night, and we'd be, I don't know, 20 back in the line.
yeah, and then they'd say
And that's right. And Suzanne and I would, who did they think I was?
Steve McQueen.
No, that was in Tokyo.
No, they thought you were this guy.
Right, but that was in Tokyo. They thought I was
in
Steve.
Beverly Hills they thought
No, you know who it
because-
was? No, you know who it was? George Siegel.
Oh, he was a big star at that time. You're right.
They told me I was
think you're
George.
right,
They
George
thought I was
Siegel.
George Siegel.
I always think you
Okay.
look more like Steve McQueen.
Well,
especially
Steve
back
McQueen was
then.
in Tokyo when I went
Yeah.
to the first night in Tokyo when I went to take a bath. Okay, to get a bath taken. Thank you. I heard, "Oh, Steve McQueen," and I thought, should I tell them that
No.
my name is Alan?
No.
No. So
No.
for 3 weeks, I was Steve McQueen. Do you know what it's like to be Steve McQueen in Tokyo? What is that?
Glutathione serum. Is it?
Catherine Pitts is asking questions because she loves so many of your products and she wants to know how you layer them. So she's calling out some of the products that
Okay,
you have right in front of
the-
you, including glutathione.
All right.
Liquid oxygen, ageless serum, glutathione, the night cream, the peptide creams.
I first always put the brightening serum on. Do you have like dark spots and things like that? Brightening serum will lighten dark spot. I always put that on first. That's my base. The second thing I put on is liquid oxygen. Liquid oxygen is like giving your skin a drink. It's oxygen suspended in liquid. Plus it has apple extracts, apple lentil extracts, and there's
And
one
watermelon.
and watermelon. Yeah. Okay. It's got a lot of great stuff in here. So put that on. This is Alan's favorite product. And then now, if I had this in front of me, I would put the Manuka honey gel, which is that soothing gel.
I haven't tried
Before
that.
the glutathione, you do the
No.
Manuka honey?
No, did I screw that up?
No, this
I
is
would
the
do. Oh, I'm sorry. The brightening serum, then the glutathione. Why the glutathione? I love talking about cells. Every cell has an energy center in the middle, called the mitochondria. But as we get older, that energy center loses its pep, like we lose our pep. And the reason it loses its pep is because it doesn't have the glutathione. So the glutathione activates the energy center of the cell. That's why when little kids come in from outside in the playground and they're all pink and rosy and everything, because their cells are working perfect. It's all about cells.
Suzanne, I think you're talking about CoQ10, which is our product on Friday. We're today, we're detox.
CoQ10 is like the ripcord on a motorboat, but the glutathione is
Your best antioxidant, right?
well, the glutathione is in every cell in our skin, also. So we've got the CoQ10 activates the energy center, but the glutathione plays a role in that too. I will on Friday get the exact wording for that so I don't confuse you, but you're right. And then the final thing you put on is the anti-aging eye cream, which we can actually say helps with dark circles and fat bags under your eyes. This stuff is amazing, and I'm going to be 75 very shortly. And yeah, I'm wrinkled, but it's kind of okay, you know?
That's, mileage.
Mileage.
Mileage, right, or kilometers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there are mornings I sit there and I do what we all do, like, what would it look like if I did that and that? But I'm pretty happy.
You really can't. I love the way you're aging. I think you look beautiful and you look real. And I know
Thank you.
there are a lot of procedures that can be done, and women who do them and have it done well, they also look great. But what I don't like is that people are so critical of people who have had work done or people who haven't had
I
work
know,
done.
I know.
And it's just like when they say, I wish people would age gracefully, and then you find someone who's aging without a ton of plastic surgery and
Me.
things. It's like,
Me.
why did you age?
I'm not doing all that surgery, and I get I don't know. I look in the mirror and I think I look good. I like and a big part of it is my relationship with all of you. I'm on full hormone replacement.
I'm happy about that.
Thank you. I make sure that
It was pretty terrible for 3 years.
It was before I started taking hormones.
Yeah.
Hormones are the game changer. If you are like any of these women I was talking to today who are sweaty and they're schwitzing, they're saying all these things, read my book, I'm Too Young for This. That's the best book on hormones that I've written because I'd written so many up to that point. That's the most up to date.
But the worst title.
Worst. I was working with my publisher in New York, and it was a bunch of New York women who were in perimenopause. And they said to me, I pitched a book about hormones, which had a great title, and I'm not going to tell you because I'm going to do that book. And they said, that title offends me. And then I knew they were in menopause. And
then we knew it was a great title.
it was a great title, yeah.
Right.
And so they back and forth, and I'm usually really solid on my titles. I know titles are everything, and I don't let anybody dissuade me, but these New York women were like really pushing. And one day I said, well, it's for all these women who think they're too young for it. They go, that's the title. I said, I'm too young for this? Yeah, okay, all right. I think that will work. But you know what? It's the best book I've written on hormones so far, the worst selling book on hormones so far, because all the women who think they're too young for this thought they were too young to buy the book. And so the menopausal women thought I had abandoned them because I'm writing about perimenopause, but really, and I'm too young for this, it's even too garbled a long title. It deals with perimenopause. Here's what you're going to start to feel when you're starting to decline in hormones. But here's where it goes. And when it goes to here you do this, you do that, and you balance, and I do the whole thing that I do in my lectures about the teeter-totter and all that. You'll love that book. That book will help you so much. And as we go on in our shows, I will do another hormone lecture because I love doing that.
So, Teodora
Yeah.
Kostadinova. I think
Teodora Kostadinova.
Kostadinova. I think
Okay.
Russian. It sounds Russian or Ukrainian. Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Your sexy leg supplement saved my legs. How about that?
You know what? Thank you, and I get it. I get it.
Save your sisters too.
Yeah, my sister has cankles, which are when your ankles swell so much that they're the size of your calves.
You know, even if you didn't
That's from
explain,
poor circulation.
if you didn't explain what cankles was,
Uh-huh.
we would all know that it's something you don't want.
You don't want. You don't
Okay?
want.
And we knew a lady by the name of Kenkel. Remember?
No.
In Minneapolis, she passed away, so I can talk about her.
I don't
And her
remember.
last name was Kenkel.
Huh.
Yeah. And I did a little joke one
Well, my
day,
s-
and no one laughed,
Yeah.
including
you
her.
do that.
Pardon?
You do that.
You guys, it's almost 5:45, so
Oh.
we
Oh.
need to hear Alan's
Oh.
most embarrassing story. But I just
Oh.
want to say one more thing about Suzanne's glutathione serum. This is our most expensive
Yeah.
serum at SuzanneSummers.com because glutathione is such an expensive ingredient. And Suzanne, she doesn't just put a little bit in there. She puts the maximum that you're allowed to put in an over-the-counter product. So that is why the glutathione serum is so expensive and why it's so effective, especially for anti-aging, because as Suzanne talks about, those free radicals that we take in and all that environmental stress that you get, it happens on your skin as well as inside your body.
Yeah.
Since the glutathione is your detox agent, on the skin, it helps detox the skin and it gets rid of that oxidative stress that causes wrinkles and dry skin and aging skin. And that product is incredible.
I use this every day. This is like, and my skin is irritated right now because I'm stressed right now because I'm moving. Moving is so hard. I know, don't feel sorry for me, but oh my God, this is so hard to move after 45 years. All we do all day long is pack and pack and pack. I get so excited that I get to come down here and talk to all of you so I can stop packing. Last night, I was so tired. After dinner, I fell asleep at 7:30. Don't ever do that because you know what?
Wow.
You wake up at midnight and you're like, you've had your
Okay,
sleep.
but that's 4.5 hours sleep.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
enough. I need 8 hours. And then I want to go back to sleep, and I don't take drugs or anything like that. So I'm lying there meditating. I'm going breathing in 4, breathing out 4, breathing in 5, breathing out 5. And then I start going, oh, I didn't get that stuff out of that top cabinet out there. And oh, we got to move the thing. And today I had to move my university body model. I sent a video to Caroline because I took the university body model, which is, maybe you've seen it on my desk in my office.
Yeah, I'm going to post that. It's so funny.
It's like I had to, Alan drove me down the hill in the golf cart and I'm holding this person and I have to hold her by her breasts because I don't want her parts to fall out because all her parts come out. So it's been the most valuable teaching tool I have ever had because when I can't figure out something on my own body, I take my body model completely apart and they come out in layers. The lungs come off, the breasts come off, then the lungs come off, and then you get beyond the lung. Do you know like what's behind your lungs and how your whole esophagus is working? That's how I figured out that, oh gosh, here's the stomach, here's the liver, here's the intestines. The intestines are what everybody thinks is this stomach. I've learned so much from this body model, but I had to take her down today. And when we laid her on the bed in the yellow house down below, Caroline, it just looked like I was apologizing to her. I'm sorry. And then in a little plastic bag, I had the male genitalia for when I want to, I don't know, am I uptight or something? But I always felt kind of
Yeah, you've never used
weird
the
having
guy
the male.
stuff.
I just
Yeah.
don't feel like having in my office a guy with an erection.
No, it wasn't an erection.
Well, it was kind of.
It was
It
sort
wasn't.
of.
It was impressive,
It
and
was.
I like.
It was
yeah.
Michelangelo's version.
Yeah. Which
A
speak.
couple of people have some questions. You guys, this is not a kit that we're selling today. Suzanne has a few products that she's featuring. Everything
The
at
Manuka honey.
SuzanneSummers.com in skincare is 25% off with the promo promo code BLUSH25. Okay, so Alan, can you tell us your most embarrassing story on
And just
Jordan's
remember,
Suzanne?
and remember out there, all of you, the Manuka honey, the soothing gel, and the moisturizer. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. You know,
Okay.
I rarely say that, but give it a shot. Okay, I'll take it
Okay.
away. All right. All right.
Now, I've probably had hundreds of terrible things happen that embarrassed me, but I guess this was the first one, okay? When I was, I think, 15 or 16, probably 16, I had my first date. And my first date was with Molly, who was the daughter of the shoemaker.
Was she
Okay.
Irish?
No. And I liked Dolly. I liked
Molly,
Dolly.
not
Or
Dolly.
Molly, rather. I liked Molly.
He liked her so much he can't remember her
I
name.
can't- I liked Molly, but she wasn't like, it wasn't like the big turn on, okay?
Oh.
She was just a nice girl, and I liked her, okay? So, but Sheila, I really liked
Didn't you
Sheila.
call her Crazy Sheila?
No,
Oh.
that was Crazy Dorothy.
Oh, Crazy Dorothy.
I really liked Sheila,
Oh.
okay?
So we've got
But
Molly,
I could
Sheila,
never,
and
I
Dorothy.
could never get a date with Sheila.
Oh, oh.
Sheila was always busy. She had
Sheila's
boyfriends
lost.
up to here. Okay, so I never got a date with Sheila. And I'm like,
Did you ask her?
15, sure, 15.
And she said
si-
no?
No, she would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm busy. I've got something to do
Yeah.
that weekend." Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so I have this date set up on Saturday night with Molly, the shoemaker's daughter,
Of course.
and
She was only a shoemaker's daughter, but,
but-
oh.
could she
How she
ever?
could.
Whoa, what a heel! So I connect with Sheila, and Sheila said to me, "I'm available this evening," and I thought, "Oh God, what a terrible decision I have to make." So I said, "Okay, I'll meet you at," and I told her where I was going to meet her because we didn't have cars then. And she said, "Okay, I'll be there." So then I said to my father, "Dad, if Molly calls for me, please tell her that I had something come up really
Oh, God.
important, and I'm sorry I had to cancel." So I leave and I go out with Sheila, and we have a great time. And at the end of the evening, I go home. And the end of the evening in those days was like 10 o'clock.
And a kiss, good night.
I go.
the front door?
I can't remember.
I love the kiss at the front door.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was a kiss or not.
Yeah.
If it was that was it. I go home, and my father was there, and I said, "So, Dad, what did you tell? Did Molly call?" He said, "Yes." I said, "What did you tell her?" He said, "I told her that you decided to go out with Sheila." I said, "Dad, I asked you to." He said, "I'm not going to lie. Why would I lie?"
Your dad never
My
told
father
a
never
lie,
lied,
Ever.
ever. Honorable guy.
Mm.
Shake hands, you got a deal. Okay. He never had a credit card. He never had a driver's license. He never
So,
had.
did you
more
ever
than-
see Molly again?
No, Molly spit at me.
Screw you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go out with Sheila, and I bet Sheila never went out with you again either.
No, she didn't.
She didn't.
That was
Well,
it for Sheila.
What'd you learn
and-
from that, Al?
Well, what I learned was from my father
Uh-huh.
was don't lie.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Don't
then
lie.
it was all worth it.
It was
Never
all
tell a
worth
lie.
it. It was
Never
great.
tell a lie.
Great life lesson.
And I
Okay.
was saying, I have another 2 quick stories. Remember the glutathione, it's really good, and the anti-aging and the liquid oxygen, but the Manuka honey, if you haven't tried it, try it. Okay, 2 great stories. No, they're not great. They're interesting. Alan was partners with Dick Clark, the famous Dick Clark. I love Dick Clark. God, he was fun. We spent, Alan and I and Dick and his wife Carrie, Carrie and I were the 2 girlfriends. We had our love affairs with Alan and Dick individually.
But at the
what-
same time.
But at the same time, when Alan and Dick were producing a show in Canada called Man Trap, and Alan put me on his show, and it was like my first experience with television in Canada, and I was so excited.
And by the way, the first time I met Dick and I were put together by Dick's agent. I didn't have an agent.
I remember.
And the first thing Dick said to me was, "I've got a great title for a show. I don't know what the show is." He said, "The title is Man Trap."
Great time.
And I told him what the show was.
Great
We did a
title.
pilot, we sold it, did series, yeah.
That could sell again today, Man Trap.
Yeah.
So anyway, now Dick and Carrie are married, and Alan and I are married, and I'm on Three's Company, and I'm really famous, and Dick's doing some show, I don't remember what it was, but anyway, I was being presented as the star of whatever the show was, and I was to come on the top of the stairs in a gown. I'm Chrissy Snow, and I get at the top of the stairs, and I'm all dressed up, and I look great, and I can't believe it. I'm really nervous, and it's really great. And I go to walk down the stairs, and I missed my step, and I fell all the way down the stairs.
Perfect. If only you'd been wearing a girdle.
What more perfect entrance for Chrissy Snow? I could have planned it. I didn't plan it. I was so mortified, and everyone's going, "It's great, it's great." So anyway, I'll tell you another one another time.
You know, Dick and I, when we
Alan's
were in
gonna tell
business,
stories now.
we used to go to New York every week, Sunday night on the Red Eye, and we'd be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then fly back. And sometimes we shared a house at number 5 Gramercy Park.
I love that place.
It was great, number 5 Gramercy Park in New York. And sometimes I'd get there before him, and I'd start cooking. And you had to walk up 3 flights of stairs. And he'd start going up the stairs, and he'd smell garlic.
Yeah, he didn't like garlic.
He
Then.
said he would go to a phone booth, this is before cell phones, go to a phone booth and say, "Let me know where you're going to stop with the garlic." And I said, "I've stopped." Okay. He didn't like garlic. Then, years later,
Yeah.
he and Carrie loved
Yeah.
garlic.
Dick Clark was a class act.
Yeah.
You two were great partners. There are people, as we're going through all the things as we're moving, I was looking at a picture that Alan found in his files that he showed me the other night about a dinner party we had in the dining room here. I couldn't believe who was at that table. The first face I saw was Merv Griffin, who if I wanted to give a dinner party here, I would first invite Merv. And if Merv was available, I'd build the party around Merv, because everyone loved Merv, and I say this all the time, I will miss Merv till I die, and when I go to heaven, and I will meet Merv Griffin up there, and Alan and I and Merv will hang out together. So anyway, at the table is Merv Griffin, and he brought a princess with him. They're always from Yugoslavia. And then there was Barbara Sinatra and Barry Manilow, and Diana Ross was over here on this side, and Keely Smith. Remember Keely Smith? That old black magic got me in a spell. She's sitting there, and there are more people at the table I can't remember. We've had some wonderful times here in this house, magic memories, incredible family times. This Saturday night, because it's our last Saturday night in our house of 45 years, all of our family is coming in, all of our children, all of our grandchildren, all their significant others. I actually ran out of rooms. I've got Bruce and Caroline in a hotel down the street, and one of my grandsons and his girlfriend down the street. And I'm so looking forward to this last night together. It's bittersweet to have lived in paradise for 45 years, and I think we did this property well, don't you, Caroline?
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
And I thought about all our grandkids. They all grew up here. And our kids, from the time they were 12 years old, grew up here. So a lot of energy here, and I couldn't close down the house without having this night. And so I'm looking forward to that. And so tonight is the last night we will be in this studio. I know you don't like the background anyway, so you'll be happy. Friday night we'll be at Big Al's Bar because the weather has cooled down, and the next shows after that until we move will be at Big Al's Bar. So we will see you at Big Al's Bar on Friday night. I'm really looking forward to it. And I just want to say what I say a lot. That beautiful quote by Lao Tzu: if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. And I wish you peace, because right now, this moment is all we've got. It's all we've got. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, or what you have. It's only about who you love and who loves you. And I love you. Good night, everybody. I'll see you Friday night, okay?